So Lou, the crew, Graves, all these guys, David, behind the scenes, damn, how do you think we're here? These guys didn't just decide to retire and put their foot down and demand disclosure, and it happened. They knew that a 90-year cover up that we had tech, understood consciousness, got the woo, shadow war, all this corruption. They were not gonna just let it go, right? They murder people over this. These guys, oh, I can't. I have my feeling.
Dude, no, he's right. They fucking kill you and your whole entire family.
Yeah,
Thank you for that,
guys.
Shane. I appreciate that.
Yeah, by the way, guys, this is being recorded. I'm gonna put it on Spotify. So if we could just refrain from
I'm sorry.
swearing, just just a just or swearing overly. You know, once or twice here and there is not so bad.
All right,
I'm sorry.
we'll try to prevent that. But point being, I lost where I was at. Shane, you're bad about interrupting. Don't interrupt a guy with
We were
ADHD.
talking about the last thing that was said was that they'll come after you and your
Oh, well,
family.
they will. Obviously, they'll come after you and your family. So what they've done is, I'll just put it in my head that it sounds to me like what they've done is, over these X amount of years, they had a plan in place to make sure material was out there that could easily point anyone that knew the subject, that had sources, whatever, to where the bodies are buried. And it's everywhere. And some of you like to call them breadcrumbs. Hell, what did this guy just say about consciousness? What did I just have a space about?
What do
What
you
have I been
mean?
talking
What do you
about?
mean? What do you mean? Where the bodies are buried? Literally, or are you talking metaphorically, like in a building?
No, man, I'm not saying literally, because then my body will be one of those. I don't know anything about no bodies being buried anywhere, nothing classified. What
Okay.
I'm saying is, I know enough to be able to find information and get information, right? And take that information and vet it. Because, guys, we're in the luckiest subject in the world. It's not like the nuclear program where everything was locked up. These things have been interacting with us, not the government. All the material information is out there. There's a reason this info exists. You've got to vet not the person. There's not many of us that will take whistleblowers seriously, someone who comes forward. So don't dog Greer. You should listen to the people who's behind him. Same thing with, I will tell you one more thing. Linda Moulton Howe, right? I'd start looking in the Spartan 1 and 2. I'd start looking.
Yeah, I mean, I have my issues with Greer and Linda, but I always, and this is what I say for all of the UFO community. I listen to what everybody has to say. You know, with few exceptions, like, you know, the David Wilcox and that other idiot that I always like to make fun of, with the one with the cigarette and the jacket and well, no, that's David. Was that David Wilcox?
Okay?
David
That's him.
Wilcock.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
That's him, right?
Dear
What's the
God.
other one? Who's the other guy?
I'd say it's probably Astral, huh? Don't talk about him right here, though.
Yeah,
Corey
Corey
Good.
Good. Yeah, Corey
Yeah,
Good. Corey
goody.
Good. So the
But
you know,
hold up. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you mentioned Corey Good. Here's another thing that tends to happen. Things happen that come out, let's say Spartan 1 and 2. There's real involved. But then people like Corey Good start saying, hey, I'm going to attach myself. And they put themselves into the real, right? And by them being attached to the real, even if they made it up and none of it was real and they're just in their head, they attach themselves to the real, people start saying that can't be real. So,
The idea is less
Oh,
credible
that's
because of
yeah,
that.
interesting.
because look,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, Spartan 1 and 2, and then Corey Good talks about going down to doing all this.
The 20 and back and all
No, don't
that.
listen to that shit. But I'm telling you, Spartan 1 and
Yeah,
2.
no.
Here's another thing that I put in the thread, right? In one of my threads, I think I put it in the last thing. Linda Moulton Howe talks about, in this whole Spartan 1 and 2, there's a pyramid, right, in South Pole. And there they've got some kind of hieroglyphs. Those hieroglyphs are probably Sumerian in a way, or whatever. Same stuff we were talking about earlier, right? Akashic record type material. But there's also something she describes as a flag. Is that their flag? And I posted it, right? And it looks like a pulsar map. We sent one of those out. You guys remember that? We sent one out to the void, right? And it kind of shows how to get to us by pulsars. That's what she was talking about, a flag. So if you look, there's a 3D representation. If any of you guys are good with doing a pulsar map, which I'm not, see where that points to. I'm curious because I there's a 3D representation as a Christmas ornament because that's how I got it, right? So um see where that goes to. I have zero clue how to do any of that shit, but I'll tell you it's the real. It's a pulsar map, and it's similar to the one we sent out. I just don't know where it goes. It's probably going to point to my house. Just don't come here.
I've never heard this before.
For a minute, dude.
Yeah, that's actually really fascinating. Linda Moulton Howe, like, I know that she says and does whatever, but like she's done like some really, really good extensive work specifically on like cattle mutilations. And I know she gets contacted by people, but I always do take a step back and say, I know some of this really, really sounds like, fairy tale, fictional, but you can't dismiss it immediately. Like, again, that's a mistake that a lot of people make with the woo and anything of that sort. Everything's got to stay on the table until it gets vetted. So if hey, and listen, if if old vet says look into something, that means you go look into something. Honestly, I'll say that from my own experience, doing my own research. Everything that Shane has sent my way that I've dug into has just led me down rabbit holes that were not only fascinating but legit. I will say that, definitely. So if you don't follow him, you got to follow him, because there's a lot of information coming from his direction that it would absolutely blow your mind to pieces. Seriously. I'm not kidding when I say that. It has like my highest approval rating as far as people who are sharing things there. It's like, whoa, wait, what? And then you go and look at it and you're like, oh, it really is like that. It really is.
I appreciate that, and I put the pulsar map up in the nest, a bunch of the different things that I was talking about. So
I'm already there.
S jumped up here, and then we can go over to UFO Shane. What's up, man?